Good morning, welcome back to Life of Dave. So we're back down the boat Sunday morning. I'll come down and see if I can get this glassed up today. That way we can start getting the lockers in soon as well. That's what I'm looking forward to, get that all done. Open up the front, look, it's like pulling the curtains. We've got some light coming in so we can actually see what's going on. There we go, look. We can see out the windows. Ish. Yeah, it's just letting a little bit of light in so we can see what we're doing now. So I've got to get that glassed up today. So I'm going to get some acetone over that and crack on. We need to get this done. I need to get away. Got stuff to do. But I want this glass, so next time I come down I can start putting them lockers in and then I can get that all glassed in place. So this one's just been glued in basically with a bonding paste. So it's all still waiting to be glassed in place. So that's going to get messy. To seal that all around the edges. Tab it all in. Glass it all round, build it all up. I've got to rebuild this front edge, that radius on there. I'll make sure these hinges need to sit flatter. This one, it pulls down too much there, holding it out at the top. So it needs to be flatter. The radius on this is too steep. That needs to pull round so that that closes properly. So I've got to sort all that out. We'll get there. First off, let's get this done. Right, oh, I'll let that vent out for a minute. Whew. Right, stupid leak. That's all I've got today. Gone and left me blooming proper mask at home. I've cleared out my boot. I've been doing all sorts, and this don't keep the smell of that acetone out. That's rough, that is. So kind of had to hold my breath a bit and just get it done. Let that vent out. Whoo! Damn. Must remember mask. I was under the impression that I had another gallon of resin in this boat, a nice new can, and it looks like this is it. I'm on my last can and that's all I've got left. I don't know if that's going to be enough to do what I want to do. It might just be. It's going to be cutting it fine, but all I can do is lay on the first bit and see how I'm going and yeah, work it out from there. I think it might just be enough, but it's going to be cutting it fine if I'm not careful. So I'll get the first bit in and then reassess it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, doing well today, aren't we? Jesus, you know what I mean? I ain't got my proper mask with me. Really not prepared. You know, I had all these plans to get this done today, and what I didn't do is go through everything that I needed to do it, and you know, I just, oh yeah, I've got that, yeah, you know, and I've mucked it right up. I've not got it. I'm on my last bit of resin. I ain't brought my proper mask with me. I'm wearing my good trainers. I ain't got my old ones in the car. Yeah, it's going well so far. So a lot of the time people just throw these away, and some people say it's not worth the hassle and time cleaning them and that, but I beg to differ. I mean, that's just my opinion, but if you're not using the cheapest of cheap brushes, you know, that fall apart, I mean, these ones, what I do is they'll dry and go crusty, but I always keep a bit of acetone. So whilst I'm working, and when I'm finished, I can clean up my roller. So I'm going to clean that in now. And then all I'll do is when I'm finished, I'll just chuck that in there, rinse out the excess resin, wipe it off. When you come back next time, it's gone all stiff like it's set. You just stick it back in the acetone and it just reactivates it. You know, it goes all nice and soft. That's plenty good enough for stippling resin. Absolutely perfect. I just don't see the point of throwing it away. I'll use that for gel coating, for, you know, for a rough coat, not for a top coat, but for, you know, doing this like sort of work, putting on the resin and then slapping some gel coat over it to seal it off. ready for like a sanding, you know, not for your top coat. You want a nice good clean one for a top coat. Don't forget, when you've got your resin standing around, make sure you give it a good shake up before you use it. We labelled it all up, front and up, so I know which way round it goes. Right, so it's got to go up there. Goes up to the window. Right, so we don't want that going up that far actually, so overlapping there. Yeah, make sure you've got everything ready before you mix up your catalyst, don't you? That there. I'll cut this to size, but I didn't check the final shape at the top there, because kind of awkward when you're holding it upside down. See exactly what you want. But basically, this bit under here I've already done. It's all been glassed, filled, sanded. It was finished. This is going to overlap it very slightly. Another usable bit. This will overlap it very slightly, putting some muck onto it. I'll get a couple of little strands over it. That's it. There, take that corner off. Not so usable. I don't want to go onto this front bulkhead, that's all done basically, so. Right, so I've got to get that into there. What I've done is I've made it slightly smaller now. If there's any little bits, I can always take a little bit of CSM and just waz it in afterwards. Right, so we've now got to get some resin on here and lay that cloth up. It's nice to finally be glassing it up, doing this sort of sitting side saddle, if you like, you know, twisting me spine. Yeah, it's great. Where it gets messy. It's the worst when you start sticking it on upside down and it starts running down the brush and up your arms and everywhere else. And of course I'm doing this top bit first, look, you get all that mess everywhere, running down all over the place. Right, I've got to get the underside done under here. It's going to get messy. Not much you can do about that. Just got to make sure it's all covered. No dry spots. Guys, I'll work out and half this is. I'm doing sit-ups. At the moment, the mask's better than not having one. It's not as good as my other one, that's for sure. But I'll do this bit and then I'll see how we are. I'm not going to be in here for hours, so I reckon brush these drips so they don't dry. There's like higher ridges. If that starts going off, what'll happen is when I've got to put this next bit of glass on, is I'll have a load of lumps there that will cause me problems. I'll end up having to let it set and sand it. That'll be a pain. Right, so I've got it all. Right, there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can just slap this straight on now and fight with it, which is probably what I'm going to do. Or I can let this flash off for a little bit so that it starts to go sticky or stickier. bring it up a bit. And what that'll do is it'll help hold the mat in place. But what I might end up doing though is running out of time before me resin that I've mixed up starts going off. I don't want to do that either, so it's a bit of a catch-22. I think we'll be alright. It's not the biggest bit in the world. Use me roller to just stick it in place. So we're overlapping by a few inches there. We're up to the front where I want it there, but not onto the front bulkhead. This bit here is not bad. I might put in a couple of little bits around here to just tie this in a little bit closer to the edge, but that's pretty darn good. So now what you can start doing is getting this on, getting the resin into it. It's always awkward glassing on a vertical up. This is past vertical, it's coming back on me. Now you've got vertical surfaces isn't too bad. This one's coming back on me slightly, so it's leaning back towards me. And then upside down. Woo! That's always a good one. So what I've got to do now is just work this in as quick as I can, making sure that all the glass is impregnated with resin. And there's enough of it on there, not too much, but enough of it on there to soak the glass through. Some more resin in a second. Not going to be quite enough here for this bit. Not far out. What I'm doing is I'm tapping the resin in just to get it all coated at the moment. And then working the air out towards the edges. Get this out of this pot pretty darn quick because it's going to start setting up. I don't want it to all get away with us and start setting before I've got it on there. Or it'll be the end of that. I'm already running low on resin. I don't want to be wasting it, having it going off. While it's in the pot, it goes off quicker. It's that thicker layer. And get it out and onto the surface as quick as possible. Easy when you're working upside down. That's it, that's nearly gone. So now these fibres come down to this corner and lap over that. So my next bit overlaps that, so that they all interlock together. That wasn't a bad guess, was it, eh? Just got this little bit here, it's a little bit dry. Needs a tiny bit more resin, but not bad at all. It was actually quite nice with the cover on the outside. I could actually see, but it was a bit too dark to see. You know? Now I've got the sun coming through, I can't see again. It's one thing or another, isn't it? All I've got to do now is just roll out the air and try not to make more voids like the ones that were already there. So. Get this stuck down quickly. I need to put a little bit more resin in a couple of spots down here, but I just want to get it roughly stuck down. Dry there, see? The little white spots, that's dry spots. And then back over it and make sure we've got no more dry spots. So it's just starting to run low on this bottom section. I'm going to put the next layer on in a second. So this very bottom bit, I want a good amount of resin on to take the next layer. Get this resin into this cloth before that goes off. Once it starts going off, that's it. It won't soak up any more resin and this will be ruined. Looks like it's going. Not too bad, it just looks a little dry at this end. A couple of little spots there. I was just trying to get that resin on as quick as I could. Well, it's like, I ain't a professional boat builder. Just doing my best. Smaller roller because of it's not perfectly flat, so this roller's sort of sitting on ridges. Is that all right? Top bit's quite flat, it's just this bit under there isn't.
pushing on this roller. I'm just sort of using the weight of the roller, just keeping it steady, flat against the side. And just letting it roll its way down, moving the air out. Not pressing it into the glass, you know, I don't want to cut into the glass with the fins. A smaller roller on that. Just to make sure we've got it all. Because this one's shorter, it'll get in between the higher ridges. Where the bigger rollers riding up on the edges. This one won't do that quite so much. That's the theory. Well, it's definitely won't. It's shorter, so it will get in better. That's a fact, not a theory. You know what I mean. Looks good to me. Hey. That little white spots there, they're not air bubbles, that's the filler underneath. And what I don't want is air in the laminates, in the layers, so I'm putting it on. Trapping more air in, that's what I've been trying to get rid of, all them voids that were originally in the boat. I'm not trying to roll out too much of this resin at the moment because my next layer is going to go on there and soak it all up. Right, so let's get this out of there before that starts going off. Be careful brushing along that top edge, any little fibres that are hanging down. I want to skew them all, start pulling it and dragging the cloth off. I'm just going to use like a dabby motion along that top edge. And swipe it along underneath it. Making this run down where I want it. This bit here, that I don't know if you can see that, that's not the resin starting to set, that's little bits of glass that have fallen down into the resin. It starts to look like a jelly, like it's all moving. It's just the glass in the resin. It's not actually setting up yet. I'll take this out. All this. No dry spots. Once that's out of the camp, the pot, whatever you use it, I'll stop it from going off quite as quick. Once you stop it going off, but it won't go off as quick.